Hello, this is Dr. Anthony Festmeyer. In this lesson, we're going to take the notes from the 6 strings of the guitar and we're going to translate those into standard music notation. At first, we'll work one string at a time and then we'll culminate with putting all the strings together and making some comparisons. Many of the strings on the guitar use a number of ledger lines, so we'll go ahead and start with the strings that use no ledger lines and gradually work up to the ones with more and more ledger lines. Beginning with the notes on the G string, we have open G, followed by G sharp or A flat, followed by A, followed by A sharp or B flat, followed by B, then C sharp or D flat, then D sharp or E flat, then E, followed by F, then F sharp or G flat, followed by G. Coming down to the musical staff, the open G is notated on the second line. Moving on to the first fret, the G sharp will be notated on the same line with a sharp in front of it. The A flat will be notated on the next space up with a flat sign in front of it. And the A is notated on the second space. A sharp is also on that second space, followed by the B flat on the line. B is notated on the same line, followed by C on the space above that. C sharp is notated on that same space, with D flat on the line above that. D is notated on the same line, as is D sharp. E flat is notated on the space above. E is notated on the same space. F is notated on the line above. F sharp is notated on the same line. G flat is on the space above the staff, as is G. Next, we will add the notes on the D string of the guitar. We start with the open D, followed by D sharp or E flat, followed by E, followed by F, followed by F sharp or G flat, followed by G. Next is G sharp or A flat. Next is A, then A sharp or B flat, then B, followed by C, then C sharp or D flat, and finally D. The open D is notated just below the musical staff. D sharp is notated on the same space, followed by E flat on the bottom line. E is on the same line, followed by F on the first space. F sharp stays on that same space, with G flat on the line above. G stays on the same line, as does G sharp. A flat is in the space above. A stays in the same space, as does A sharp. B flat is on the middle line. B is on that same middle line. C is in the third space. C sharp stays in the same space. D flat is on the line above, and D stays on that same line. Next, we will notate the notes on the B string of the guitar. Open is B, first fret is C, second fret C sharp or D flat, third fret D, fourth is D sharp or E flat, fifth is E, sixth is F, seventh is F sharp or G flat, 8 is G, 9 is G sharp or A flat, followed by A at 10, A sharp or B flat at 11, and finally 12 is B. For the music notation, we start at the middle line, which is the open B. Next, we have the third space, which is C. Then we have the third space again, C sharp, and then the fourth line, D flat. Stay on the same line for D. Stay on the same line for D sharp. The next space is E flat. Stay at the same space for E. Then we have the top line, F. Stay on the same line for F sharp, then the top space for G flat. We stay on that space for G. Stay on that same space for G sharp. Now we need to extend the staff because we've run out of spaces and lines. So we're going to add a short line known as a ledger line and circle that line for the A flat. We stay on that same ledger line for the A, and again for the A sharp. Now we keep that same ledger line and we go above for the space. This is B flat, and we stay on that same space above the ledger line for B. Next, we'll continue to the higher notes on the guitar and do the high E string. We start with the open E, followed by first fret F, then F sharp or G flat, third fret G, fourth fret G sharp or A flat, fifth fret A sharp or B flat, B, C at the 8th fret, C sharp or D flat at the 9th, D at the 10th, D sharp E flat at the 11th, and finishing it off with E. The open E string is notated at the 4th space. F is the top line. Keep that same line for F sharp, and then above the staff we have G flat. Keep that same space above the staff for G, same space for G sharp. Then we go up one ledger line for A flat. We keep that same ledger line for A, same ledger line for A sharp, and then go above that ledger line for B flat. We stay above that ledger line for B. Now for C, we need to add an additional ledger line, so we have the note 2 ledger lines up and on the line, and we keep that same arrangement for the C sharp. We go up above that second ledger line for the D flat, stay there for the D, stay there for the D sharp, and then we need to add one more ledger line, a third ledger line for the E flat, and we stay on that ledger line for the E. Next, we will notate the notes on the A string. First fret is A sharp or B flat, followed by B, then C at the 3rd fret, C sharp or D flat, D, 6th fret is D sharp or E flat, E, F, followed by F sharp or G flat, then we have G, G sharp or A flat at the 11th fret, and finishing it off with A at the 12th. To notate the open A, we will start 2 ledger lines below the staff. That gives us A. A sharp will stay below the staff 2 ledger lines, and B flat will be just above that under 1 ledger line. We will keep that same note for the B, followed by 1 ledger line below the staff, which gives us C. We keep that same ledger line for C sharp, and now we're out of ledger lines and go directly below the staff for D flat. Next we have D at the 5th fret, then we have D sharp on the same space, followed by E flat on the bottom line. That takes us to E on the same line. Next we have F on the 1st space, followed by F sharp on the same space, and G flat on the 2nd line. Then we have G on that same line, followed by G sharp on the same line, moving to the 2nd space for A flat, and finishing it off with A on the same space. And last, we will check out the notes on the low E string of the guitar. First of all, the letter names are all the same for the high E string, so we'll transfer those letter names first. Next, we will complete the music notation. The low E string is 3 ledger lines down and below the line. Next, we have F for the 1st fret, which is 3 ledger lines down and on the line. F sharp is also 3 ledger lines down, and G flat is in the space above that, so it's written with 2 ledger lines and below the 2nd ledger line. Next we have G with the same 2 ledger lines and below the line, and G sharp falls in the same space. A flat is 2 ledger lines down, and A is also 2 ledger lines down. A sharp is 2 ledger lines down as well, and B flat is 1 ledger line down and below the line. We keep that same space for the B, and then C takes us to 1 ledger line down. C sharp stays on the same ledger line, and D flat is below the bottom line. D stays below the bottom line, as does C sharp, And that takes us to E flat on the bottom line, and finally ending with E on the bottom line. Here we have the complete notation from open strings all the way through the 12th fret of the guitar neck. Now, something to notice that's very interesting about the guitar is that many of the notes can be played in multiple locations on the fingerboard. So, for example, here we have an E and an F note right here on the first string of the guitar. That same E and F note can be played here on the B string, and it could also be played here on the G string of the guitar. Now, if we continued even higher beyond the 12th fret, we would find that we could find those notes on the D string and potentially even on the A string, depending on the number of frets that we have.